right, happy Thursday, and here we go. Welcome to your Newsmax Daily for September 12th, 2024, the 256th day of the year with 110 to go, and man, are they going fast. There are 10 more days of summer as well before fall officially arrives. You know, I live in Florida, right? It's still like 90 degrees, and all around the neighborhood, people have those "Welcome to fall, y'all" signs. And guess what? A month from now, when it really is fall, it'll be like 88 degrees. Today is National Video Game Day, a big day for the vast and growing gaming community, and probably at GameStop. It's also hashtag World Dolphin Day to celebrate the Miami Dolphins are on Thursday Night Football against Buffalo, a big division rivalry. And I'll mention this because the Dolphins are playing tonight, and it's a big trending story. But Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill, who is not only a star in Miami, but widely considered the top receiver in the NFL, one of the highest paid in all of the NFL, is the player that was pulled over by Miami-Dade police, dragged out of his vehicle before Sunday's game for a traffic violation, then pinned on the ground and handcuffed. I know how some of you may feel about this story because I've seen some of the reaction on social media and also how you may feel about the NFL. But that's kind of why I'm talking about it, because Tyreek Hill took the high road in a news conference yesterday.
I got a lot of respect for cops, man, but obviously, you know, everybody has bad apples in every situation. I want to be able to, use this platform, figure out a way to flip this and, make it a positive on both ends, on my end and then also Miami-Dade.
This whole thing started when Hill refused to roll his window down all the way when the officers approached his car, like a Ferrari, Lamborghini or something. He cracked the window to talk to the officer, and he acknowledged that as well, saying, yes, I probably should have rolled the window down more. With 56 days to go now until Election Day, both of our nominees are back on the campaign trail today. Donald Trump headed to Tucson, Arizona. By the way, if you live in Arizona, RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard will be holding a joint Trump rally in Glendale on Saturday. So if you can't make it today, Glendale on Saturday. Vice President Harris is in North Carolina today with events in Charlotte and Greensboro. Although Democrats haven't won the Tar Heel state's electoral votes since 2008, the state's governor, Roy Cooper, is a Democrat, or Cupper. Supposedly he just recently changed his name or something, but he had a key role at the Democratic National Convention a few weeks ago, you may remember. And I'm sure that he will be attending one or both of Harris's events. He did not attend Trump's event there a couple of weeks ago. In fact, today's event is at the same venue in Charlotte where Trump had his rally. And many people thought that the North Carolina governor may have been Harris's vice presidential pick, but turns out that he is not nearly liberal enough. He's more mainstream, moderate, right? That's what they call him, moderate Democrat. As America debated Tuesday night's debate, Newsmax's Carl Higbie spoke with some people on the streets of New York City.
What did I think? He wins on the facts.
What was your favorite policy of hers?
Favorite policy, not being Donald Trump, not trying to attempt a coup.
So you're not for Kamala?
I am not for Kamala, absolutely not. I think she's a complete liar and fabricator, and if she had a chance to change something, she would have changed something.
Favorite part about Trump's policies?
Favorite part about Trump's policy? My pocket, my finances, the no inflation part about it.
Any specific policies you like best about hers? Who did you favor?
Harris.
Really? What was your favorite policy about hers?
Everything that she had to say was absolutely wonderful.
Well, you got somebody who in office who says she's going to do this and that when she gets elected. She's in office already. She's in office. I used to be a Democrat, not anymore.
Some of those people sounded like Trump supporters, right? Trump voters. But let's go back to the second guy for a second.
Favorite policy, not being Donald Trump, not trying to attempt a coup.
That right there is why almost half of the country will vote for Vice President Harris, simply because she's not Donald Trump. TDS. Trump derangement syndrome. It's still rampant. Anybody, Biden, Harris, whomever, No matter what the policies they have or don't have, people will vote for them as long as it is not Trump. However, the Trump campaign does believe that New York is in play, and they just announced that the former president will hold another rally in New York next week. You remember a while ago when he had that big rally in the Bronx, right? Hardcore blue area. This time, he is headed to a red part of the state, Nassau County, Long Island. And with Pennsylvania still being a big key to the election, this is a Pennsylvania voter speaking to CNN.
I think it's important to remember that we are voting for the leader of our country and not who we like the most or who we want in our wedding party, but who is actually going to make our country better. And we're in an incredibly unique situation where we've had both of the candidates in office before, and we've gotten to see what they would do. And when facts come to facts, my life was better when Trump was in office. The economy was higher, inflation was lower, things were better overall. And now with Kamala's administration, things haven't been so fantastic. And she's saying she can fix the problems that her administration has caused, but I just don't know if I can afford to take that risk.
Were you leaning towards the former president coming into the night?
Probably.
That is what an intelligent, responsible, hard-working American who is paying bills sounds like. And this is a great recap and discussion of the debate from yesterday's edition of National Report.
Newsmax host John Bachman live here with us. John, good to see you. We rarely get to see you in person.
Yeah.
So it's a pleasure and all. I'm sure all of us, as you did and covered it, but we stayed up last night, watched this debate, and it went on for just a little under 2 hours. Through Christina's report, though, talking about some of the discrepancies within the moderators, fact-checking, it was very apparent that Trump was fact-checked. Didn't see that much fact-checking on Kamala Harris. What did you make of that?
I think a lot of people are responding emotionally to what happened last night. But I think, this is not more than a one-day story. I don't think there was anything consequential that really happened last night that's going to change the course of the election. Donald Trump and you saw Kamala Harris, they're out doing 9/11 events today. And I think people move on. I do think these are valid complaints about the ABC News moderators, if you want to call them that. They did seem to be a lot harder on Donald Trump than they were on Kamala Harris. But everyone knew this going into it. And I think it reaffirms what a lot of people believe. It was Donald Trump walked into the lion's den. Sure, there were some missed opportunities. He could have prosecuted things a little bit better, but it wasn't an outright loss. It was not, on par with what happened to Joe Biden in the first debate. Even though you'll hear a lot of commentators on MSNBC and CNN saying exactly that, I do not think this changes overall the course of the way things are going.
Let's talk a little about pop culture. Following
My favorite
the debate.
topic.
Yes, I know you're a big pop culture guy, and you're big on Taylor Swift. She endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris, writing in part this quote: "I'm voting for Kamala Harris because she fights for the rights and causes I believe need a warrior to champion them." She goes on to say, quote, "I think she is a steady-handed, gifted leader, and I believe we can accomplish so much more in this country if we are led by calm and not chaos. With love and hope, Taylor Swift, childless cat lady." John, your reaction to that, I know, former President Trump's supporters are going to be his supporters no matter what, regardless of what happened in this debate or if we have another one. Do you think this moves the needle at all when someone as popular as Taylor Swift, you're already nodding your head?
Maybe it had an effect in 2020. And I know Taylor Swift has the ability to get a lot of people registered to vote at her concert. But this is, again, not new. We knew that Taylor Swift was going to vote for Kamala Harris, whether she posted about it or not. This is not one of those things. And there's a diminishing return on the effect that she's going to have compared to what happened in 2020. I don't want to completely downplay what this means, but what she's doing is showing her support for her fellow childless cat ladies. Those people were never going to vote for Donald Trump anyway. And Taylor Swift saying this now might get a lot of likes on social media. But one thing those of us who live in the real world know is social media is not the real world. And Taylor Swift was going to vote for Kamala Harris anyway, with or without this tweet.
The interesting fact about her weighing in on that, at least for me, when I saw it, woke up this morning and saw the endorsement by her. When you ask anyone that's responding to these polls, what are your biggest issues? It's immigration, but the big thing is crime, feeling safe, obviously, inflation, the economy, having enough money to provide food on the table.
And none of those things affect Taylor Swift.
None of those things affect her at all.
She's going to be just fine.
Security.
Right.
She has billions of dollars in empire.
exactly what I posted on X yesterday at radio_Marino. If you don't follow me, you should. I'll add to that she does have 96 million followers on X. 96 million. Probably more on Instagram. And it is great that she's getting young people engaged in politics. Many of her fans are too young to vote anyway, and I'm not downplaying, as John Bachman said, the potential power of the endorsement. But I'm saying it's sad that someone who is older than the voting age would vote for someone based on a celebrity endorsement, when the economy, and even crime to a degree, do not make any difference to them. She does have a lot of fans, the Swifties, who after they found out about the potential terror attack on one of her overseas concerts, almost immediately became Trump supporters. And what's really interesting about the endorsement is she said it's mostly because of Harris picking Tim Walz as her running mate. Check out this segment from Megyn Kelly on the Megyn Kelly Show.
I was so heartened and impressed by her selection of her running mate, Tim Walz, who has been standing up for LGBTQ rights, IVF, and a woman's right to her own body for decades. Oh, my God. So this woman is fine with his plan to take custody of the children from parents who don't want them to chop off their body parts and put them in Minnesota court's custody so the body parts can be chopped off and they can be sterilized outside the custody of their parents. That's what led Taylor Swift to endorse him. Can I tell you something? I criticized her about 6 months ago when she came out strongly in favor of, she went to a fundraiser to raise money for Hamas, supposedly Palestinians, but the group that was doing the fundraising was known to funnel the money to Hamas. And I said, people should boycott her. It was an offhanded comment. People went nuts. Some lunatic dropped a note in my personal mailbox outside my house begging me not to boycott Taylor Swift, as though I have that power. I'm allowed to criticize Taylor Swift, and I don't give a shit who gets upset. This is disgusting. If she wants to vote Harris Walz, she can do it all she wants. But to say the reason she's doing it is because of Tim Walz's stance on LGBTQ, F you, Taylor Swift, and F all of the people who want to see these children have body parts chopped off and watch them sterilized under the age of consent, and then will ride off to their multi-gazillion-dollar mansions, never to think of them again.
Megyn Kelly, wow. And let's not forget all the violence and riots in Minneapolis that Tim Walz was okay with as well. And back to debate reaction on this morning's edition of Wake Up America with former White House advisor Mark Lotter and Democrat strategist Theryn Bond.
Do you think that there is a polling bump for either candidate after this debate? And if it's Kamala, we heard that after the DNC, she was going to get this great polling bump. And really the opposite happened. The polls tightened after the DNC. What do you think happens this time?
I don't think there'll be much of a bump for her because I think, if you supported her going in, you left supporting her. If you supported Trump going in, you left supporting Trump. That 3 to 5% in the middle that are undecided, I think they were waiting to hear Kamala say, I accept blame for rising inflation and gas prices, the wide open border, and the world wars that are going on. She didn't do that. She also didn't give them any kind of concrete plan to fix the problems that she caused. I mean, people know what Trump stands for. They know you're going to get lower prices. You know you're going to get a secure border. And I don't think she sealed the deal and convinced anyone that the person who broke all these things is the right person to fix them.
Theryn, you're a Democrat. The last few times that we have talked, you said you needed to know more about Kamala. You wanted to hear more about her policies. You wanted to know what it would be like if she was president of the United States. Did you hear the answers that you needed to hear on Tuesday?
No, I didn't. And I wish I had. I wish the American people had heard them also. I think it was a huge jump in the right direction to have her issues finally placed on her website. But honestly, that took far longer than it should have. But she still hasn't explained herself, and that's what the American people are looking for. We know exactly what we get with former President Donald Trump, whether we like it or not, agree with it or not. We're clear on what he represents. What we're not clear on is who she is and what she represents. So the American people still need the comparison to make an accurate assessment of who they want in the presidency come this November. And right now, we don't have it. debate. And that's clear in nearly every poll that's coming out. If either one of them was really doing what they were supposed to do, truly, the polls would not be this close.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Rob Finnerty with Democrat strategist Theryn Bond on Wake Up America. Bianca De La Garza spoke with Victor David Hansen, senior fellow of the Hoover Institute and author of many books, including A Case for Trump.
So good to have you today, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're watching this last night, and obviously Harris had a lot of prep. You say she came out calm and exceeded low expectations. It's very true. Donald Trump, on the other hand, had to combat these fact checks that were not equal-handed. And the questions really directed it in a way where he was always on the offensive. Anything that could have gone better, you think, and how?
Well, I think it was kind of a Candy Crowley debate, and by that I meant in 2012. We don't remember that debate between Romney and Obama. We only remember that Candy Crowley, the CNN moderator, destroyed her career when he hijacked it and started fact-checking it and intervening. And that's what these two did, Muir and Davis. They interrupted the tempo of the debate. They fact-checked him 6 or 7 times. There was supposed to be a rule against hot mics. She interrupted a couple times with a hot mic. That rule was dropped. They didn't ask her anything. They didn't fact-check her when she said that Trump was for a national abortion ban. She said that police were killed on January 6th. I could go on and on. They didn't fact-check her once. But she was prepped to get under his skin and call him a business failure, call him a coward, all of that. And he did get angry about that. But at the end, when you look back at this debate, what did it show? It showed that Donald Trump is fiery. He can get irate. He's angry. But people have known that for 9 years, and half the country believes that's essential to him fighting the administrative state. The other half saw that Kamala Harris is swarmy, she's slick, she's silly, she's sappy, and they see that as facilitating her evasiveness and disingenuousness. But the real story was that you should never let anybody in the media like these people anywhere near a debate, because it wasn't a debate. It was a staged hit piece. And so I think that'll be just like Candy Crowley. I think they blew up their careers. They disgraced ABC, and that's what we're going to remember.
It is. And ABC and Disney and the ties possibly, Kamala, we know that there are these machinations of what these bosses want. It played out. I have some of the headlines here, and it's not surprising to everything you just said. Those that are gushing over it are legacy media, that, she got under his skin over and over. The fact that he took the bait over 90 minutes, he descended to his true self. But I think we also have to take some solace with the fact that at the end of the day, it is about undecided people who are in those battleground states,
Absolutely.
Victor, and they are saying we trust Trump more on the economy. So these snap polls that come out after, she may not have had a fatal night. She lives to see another day. But at what point will she ever have to come and say, these are actually what I would do, these are my policies? Even last night, she's just glazing over everything. And I'm just dumbfounded and astounded that we are at this point in American elections, one of the most pivotal in our nation, whether or not this nation survives or falls, many say. And this woman at the top of the ticket gets a pass, be it ABC, but also by some Americans. We're just that busy that we're looking at World War III's door, and they're going to take a Taylor Swift endorsement and say, all right.
Yeah, I mean, and what were the two things he had to do? I mean, he got sidetracked on crowd size, and she baited him, called him a coward. But the two things he wanted to point out to the country is she won't tell us what she's for, and she won't tell us why she doesn't enact them right now, because she's got almost 5 months left in her vice presidential tenure with a president who's in absentia. So she could do it now. And he made those points really well. And that he got angry, but again, people expected that from him. If she is confident, now she should say, I had a good debate, I was calm, I baited him, and I want to do as many interviews as I can. I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
So I don't think it changed anything, and I don't think that these debates do much when you have ABC moderators or CNN moderators. It was like the interview with Walz and Harris by Dana Bash. It was rigged. They gave they asked questions and gave multiple choice answers for the candidate, and I don't think many people will change their mind.
Victor David Hansen on Newsmax. So again, Donald Trump is in Arizona today, Harris in North Carolina. President Biden, by the way, who had a funny exchange with a Trump supporter yesterday that ended with him putting on a MAGA hat. He's back at the White House today with no scheduled events after a busy day yesterday. On Wall Street, markets opened slightly positive today after picking up some decent gains yesterday. Both today's producer price index and yesterday's CPI, the consumer price index, showed inflation still slowing down, but still on the uptick, which will play into next week's big predicted interest rate cut by the feds. And if you're driving a Jeep, listen up. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration recalling more than 32,000 Jeep Wranglers and Gladiators due to an instrument panel issue. The recall affects vehicles from 2018 through some of the 2024s. So check with your dealer if you're driving a Jeep Wrangler or Gladiator. And keep up with all of the news today and tonight on Newsmax TV and Newsmax.com. Make sure you're streaming on Newsmax Plus for all of your favorite shows and guests. Greg Kelly reports, Rob Schmidt tonight, The Record with Greta Van Susteren, Carl Higbie, John Bachman, Wake Up America, and more. Analysis from Hogan Gidley, Mark Halpern, Governor Mike Huckabee, the Huckster, Judge Napolitano, and many others. NewsmaxPlus.com. I'm Tony Marino. Thank you, as always, for listening to the Newsmax Daily. Make sure you subscribe on whatever platform you are listening on, and keep on fighting the good fight.
News breaks every minute, every day. You need the app, the Newsmax app. Find it free on your smartphone store. Then watch us anytime, anywhere.
Hey, it's Jerry Callahan from The Callahan Show. You can listen to us every day. We react to the latest news, politics, sports, and all the madness in the world. I'll give you my opinion with a little edge, a little attitude. I'm an unapologetic right-winger, trapped behind enemy lines in deep blue Boston, so I'm used to taking on the mainstream media mob. You can hear us anywhere you get your podcast, or you can listen every day at newsmax.com/listen.
It's our America. We conquered it. We built it. Great values like honesty and fairness. Great courage. A great nation needs a free press. Newsmax is it. 30 million Americans regularly go to Newsmax when they really need to know. They watch Newsmax TV at home. On the free Newsmax app, they go to Newsmax.com. Start today. Newsmax is real news.